Alex Eala confirmed to play in first Philippine Women's Open. In a post by the tourney's Facebook page, Eala has self-confirmed to play in the event. "Yes, I will be playing next week. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope people can show up and support the penis," Eala said as she arrived at NAIA Terminal 3. "It's a huge milestone in Philippine tennis, and I think it's a big deal for all of us Filipina tennis players," she added. Eala just came home from a landmark campaign in the 2026 Australian Open in Melbourne, which is also her official debut in the singles and doubles events. She bowed out of the women's singles after the United States' Alicia Parks edged her out with a 6-0, 3-6, 2-6 win. The Philippine Women's Open is the country's first ever WTA 125 event. It will take place at the newly refurbished Rizal Memorial Tennis Center from January 26 to 31st. PWO has already awarded Eala a wildcard entry in the inaugural tourney. Qualifying matches for the singles competition begin this weekend. Tickets can be purchased at SM Tickets. Alex Eala and the dawn of a new era, the first Philippine Women's Open. The moment the confirmation came, it felt less like a press release and more like a quiet shift in history. Alex Eala, name spoken with hope, pride, and growing international respect, was officially set to play in the first ever Philippine Women's Open. For Philippine tennis, it was not merely an announcement. It was a homecoming, a promise fulfilled, and the opening chapter of something long overdue. For years, Alex Eala's story had unfolded far from home. From the clay courts of Europe to the hard courts of international junior and professional tournaments, she carried the Philippine flag stitched invisibly into every match. She was the teenager who stood tall against seasoned opponents, the young woman who proved that Filipino athletes could belong on tennis's biggest stages, not as guests, but as contenders. Now, for the first time, the spotlight was turning inward. A tournament at a turning point. The Philippine Women's Open is more than a new entry on the tennis calendar. It represents ambition, an assertion that the country is ready to host, compete, and believe. And with Alex Eala confirmed as part of the field, that ambition suddenly feels real. Her presence transforms the tournament from an event into a moment. Crowds will not just watch tennis, they will watch possibility. Young players in the stands, some gripping borrowed rackets, others dreaming in silence, will see someone who looks like them, speaks like them, and carries the same passport, standing confidently on center court. For decades, Philippine tennis existed mostly on the margins of global conversation. Passion was abundant, but platforms were few. The Women's Open changes that narrative, and Alex Eala stands at its center, not because she demands attention, but because her journey naturally commands it. Coming home with purpose. Playing at home is never easy. The cheers are louder, the expectations heavier, the emotions closer to the surface. Every point carries meaning beyond the scoreboard. For Eala, stepping onto Philippine soil as a professional competitor is not just about winning matches, it's about honoring the road that brought her there. She represents years of sacrifice, long separations from family, early mornings, relentless training, quiet resilience. Her success has never been accidental. It has been built point by point, loss by loss, lesson by lesson. At the Philippine Women's Open, she will not just be playing opponents across the net. She will be playing alongside the dreams of a nation eager to believe in its own sporting future. More than a match. What makes Alex Eala's participation so powerful is that it extends beyond tennis. It speaks to identity. It reminds Filipinos that global excellence does not require abandoning one's roots. That success abroad can return home and plant seeds. Her matches will be analyzed, her forehands praised, her composure admired, but perhaps her greatest contribution will be invisible. It will be in the confidence she instills, the pathway she opens, and the belief she reinforces that Filipino athletes belong on the world stage and can build that stage at home. The Philippine Women's Open becomes a mirror, reflecting what is possible when talent meets opportunity. A new beginning. As the tournament approaches, anticipation grows, not just for results, but for meaning. Win or lose, Alex Eala's confirmation to play marks a victory already achieved. It signals growth. It signals courage. It signals a future where Philippine tennis is no longer a footnote but a headline. The first Philippine Women's Open will be remembered not only for who lifted the trophy, but for who stood at the starting line when history began to shift. And when Alex Eala steps onto the court, racket in hand, eyes forward, She will not be carrying the weight of expectation alone. She will be carrying something lighter, stronger, and far more enduring: hope.